Beloved friend, imagine for a moment that you stand before a grand tapestry, its threads interwoven with mystery and beauty. At first glance, the design appears chaotic, but with patience, a pattern emerges. So, too, does the hand of God weave greatness into the lives of those he prepares. Let us journey together through the signs that signal his divine work in your life. The call of inner restlessness. There comes a moment when the ordinary no longer satisfies. It is as though a holy discontent awakens within you, a yearning for a life richer in meaning and purpose. This restlessness is not to be feared but embraced, for it is the echo of eternity calling you to rise above the mundane. The refining fire of trials. Greatness is not forged in ease, but in the crucible of challenge. The storms you face, the heartaches you endure, these are not punishments but preparations. Each trial polishes you, revealing strength and perseverance you did not know you possessed. God is refining you like gold, that you may shine with his glory. The humbling of the heart. Pride is the enemy of greatness, and so God begins by softening the soul. Through failures, through moments when we see our frailty, he teaches us that our strength lies not in self-reliance but in dependence on him. Humility is not weakness, it is the soil in which true greatness takes root. The whispers of solitude. In the quiet spaces, when the noise of the world fades, we often hear God most clearly. Isolation, though painful, is sometimes his gifted chance to commune with him without distraction. It is in these moments that visions are clarified, courage is restored, and the seeds of greatness are sown. The alignment of passions and gifts. As you walk this path, you may notice your talents aligning with a deeper sense of purpose. What once felt scattered now converges, as though a divine hand is orchestrating your steps. The things you love and the skills you possess are not accidents, they are tools given by the Creator for the mission ahead. The urgency to serve others. True greatness is never self-centered, it looks outward, not inward. When you feel the unmistakable pull to meet the needs of others, to heal, to teach, to uplift, you are stepping into the heart of God's design. Greatness is a life poured out in love, the assurance of his presence. You will know his preparation by the quiet but unshakable assurance of his presence. Even in doubt, even in fear, there will be moments when the weight of his nearness is undeniable. This is the anchor of your soul, the promise that you do not walk this path alone. A profound restlessness often marks the beginning of God's preparation for greatness. This restlessness is not the fleeting dissatisfaction common to human nature, such as yearning for a better job or a more comfortable life. Instead, it is a deeper, more insistent stirring in the soul, a sacred discontent that whispers, "You were made for more." This stirring is not accidental. It is as though the Creator himself is awakening within you a longing for the divine purpose etched into your being. At first, it might manifest as an inexplicable dissatisfaction with the ordinary. Things that once brought joy or contentment now seem hollow, lacking the richness they once held. You may find yourself questioning routines, roles, and even relationships, not out of rebellion, but from a desire to understand why your heart yearns for something beyond them. Restlessness of this kind can feel unsettling. It may lead to moments of frustration or confusion as you wrestle with the tension between your current life and the vision of something greater that remains just out of reach. But this discomfort serves a purpose, it propels you forward. Like a seed bursting through the soil, this yearning disrupts complacency and challenges the status quo. Without it, growth would remain stagnant and divine potential would lie dormant. This stirring often begins with a sense of calling, though the specifics may be unclear. You might feel a tug toward a particular cause, a group of people, or a new path that seems at odds with your present circumstances. It could be a subtle desire to create, to build, or to lead. Whatever form it takes, it feels larger than you, something you could not accomplish by your own strength alone. And that is precisely the point. This restlessness is not meant to be solved or silenced, but to draw you closer to the one who planted it within you. As this inner stirring grows, you may notice a shift in your perspective. What once seemed ordinary becomes extraordinary, filled with new meaning and potential. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and your heart is stirred by things that once went unnoticed. This is no coincidence. It is the Spirit's work, gently aligning your vision with His, allowing you to glimpse the world as He sees it. It is crucial to recognize that this restlessness does not promise immediate clarity or ease. Often it brings questions rather than answers. You may wonder, why me? What is this feeling? How do I respond? These questions are part of the preparation. They encourage you to seek, to knock, to ask. In this way, restlessness becomes a holy invitation not merely to action but to relationship, as God beckons you to draw closer to Him for guidance and strength. This stirring is also deeply personal. No two journeys of restlessness are the same, for God's calling is as unique as the individuals He creates. For some, the yearning may lead to bold, visible pursuits, a call to ministry, leadership, or innovation. For others, it may involve quieter, hidden work, a call to nurture, to heal, or to serve in ways that are no less significant. Regardless of its form, the call is always accompanied by the assurance that God's plans are purposeful and good. This stage of preparation can also be a time of vulnerability. The longing for more may tempt you to act impulsively, seeking quick fixes or worldly accolades to fill the void. But such pursuits often lead to frustration and burnout, for they cannot satisfy the divine hunger within. It is essential, therefore, to wait with patience and trust, allowing God to reveal the next step in His perfect timing. This season of restlessness is both a gift and a responsibility. It requires courage to embrace the unknown and faith to trust that the God who stirs your soul will also sustain and guide you. It is a call to surrender your plans to His, believing that the unease you feel is not a sign of failure, but of divine purpose. As you lean into this restlessness, you may discover unexpected joy and peace amid the uncertainty. For it is in these moments of longing that God begins to shape your heart, preparing you for the work He has set before you. What feels like an ache is, in truth, the first glimpse of His greatness being formed within you. The refining fire of trials. Trials often serve as God's chosen instrument for shaping those He calls to greatness. These challenges are not random misfortunes, but deliberate tools used to refine, strengthen, and prepare the soul for the weight of its divine purpose. They reveal weaknesses, test resolve, and cultivate virtues necessary for the journey ahead. The refining fire is neither gentle nor comfortable. It strips away illusions of control and independence, exposing the fragile places of the heart where fear, doubt, or pride may reside. In these moments you may find yourself asking, why is this happening? But the question, though natural, misses the deeper reality. Trials are less about what is happening to you and more about what is being forged within you. In the furnace of adversity, faith is purified. When life is easy, it is tempting to rely on one's own strength or to assume that blessings flow from human effort alone. Trials disrupt this illusion. They demand a surrender of self-reliance and an acknowledgement of dependence on God. As trust deepens, faith becomes not just an abstract belief but a lived experience, a steady anchor amid the storm. Trials also teach perseverance. Greatness cannot be achieved without endurance, and endurance cannot be developed without struggle. The Apostle Paul likened this process to running a race, emphasizing the need to press on, even when the finish line is obscured. Each challenge overcome strengthens resolve, preparing you to face even greater tests in the future. This perseverance is not born of mere stubbornness, but of a deep confidence that God is faithful to complete the work He has begun. Adversity also shapes character. It brings to the surface virtues such as patience, humility, and empathy, qualities essential for anyone called to lead, serve, or influence others. Patience is cultivated when outcomes are delayed, forcing you to wait on God's timing. Humility grows when you realize the limits of your abilities and the vastness of His grace. Empathy is deepened as you experience pain and can, therefore, better understand and comfort others in their struggles. In the midst of trials, there is often a stripping away of distractions and idols, those things we unknowingly depend on for security or identity. Whether it is material possessions, relationships, or personal ambitions, trials have a way of exposing where our true hope lies. This process, though painful, is ultimately liberating. It clears the path for a deeper intimacy with God, allowing Him to take His rightful place at the center of your life. Another purpose of trials is to reveal hidden strengths. Just as pressure reveals the brilliance of a diamond, adversity unveils the gifts and resilience God has placed within you. It is often in moments of crisis that you discover abilities, courage, or perspectives you did not know you possessed. These revelations are not just for your benefit, but for the fulfillment of the calling God has placed on your life. The refining process also builds trust in God's sovereignty. As you walk through challenges, you begin to see His hand at work, even in circumstances that initially seemed hopeless. Hindsight often reveals how trials prepared you in ways you could not have anticipated. This growing awareness of His faithfulness allows you to face future difficulties with greater confidence, knowing that He is both with you and for you. It is important to understand that trials are not merely individual experiences, but also communal ones. They connect you with others who are walking similar paths, fostering a sense of solidarity and shared purpose. These connections can be sources of encouragement and wisdom, reminding you that you are not alone in your struggles. The refining fire is not without cost. It demands a letting go of what is comfortable and familiar, often leaving scars that bear witness to the journey. But these scars are not marks of defeat, they are testimonies of God's sustaining power. They serve as reminders that you have been tested and found resilient, that you have walked through the fire and emerged stronger. The trials you face are not ends in themselves, but means to a greater purpose. They prepare you to carry the mantle of greatness with integrity and grace. They strip away what is unnecessary, reveal what is essential, and refine you into a vessel fit for the work God has called you to do. The humbling of the heart. Humility is the foundation of true greatness, and it is often cultivated through the humbling of the heart. This process is both necessary and transformative, as it allows God to shape a soul ready to serve His purposes. Humility is not a natural inclination for many. Instead, it must be nurtured, often through experiences that challenge pride, self-sufficiency, and misplaced confidence. The humbling of the heart frequently begins with an encounter with one's limitations. Moments of failure or weakness can feel devastating, but they are divinely permitted to dismantle illusions of self-reliance. When you stumble, it becomes evident that your strength alone is insufficient. This realization is not meant to crush the spirit, but to redirect reliance toward God, whose power is made perfect in weakness. Life's circumstances often serve as the tools for this humbling work. A loss of status, a broken relationship, or a missed opportunity can strip away false securities, leaving a space for God to fill. In these moments, Pride is revealed not as a source of strength, but as a fragile defense against vulnerability. By acknowledging dependence on God, the soul begins to shed its need for control, embracing the freedom that comes from trusting His plans over one's own. Humility also involves a reordering of priorities. When the heart is humbled, the relentless pursuit of personal achievement gives way to a desire to glorify God and serve others. This shift often happens subtly as God reshapes desires through the everyday experiences of life. A humbled heart recognizes that greatness is not measured by accolades or titles, but by the willingness to put others before oneself. One of the most profound ways God humbles the heart is by revealing His majesty and holiness. In the presence of His perfection, human efforts and accomplishments pale in comparison. This is not meant to diminish one's value, but to foster a sense of awe and reverence. Encounters with God's greatness inspire a deep sense of gratitude, as the humbled soul recognizes that all gifts and abilities are entrusted by Him for His purposes. Humility is often tested and deepened in relationships. Interactions with others provide a mirror, reflecting areas where pride or selfishness may linger. Forgiveness, for example, requires humility as it demands letting go of the need to be right or justified. Similarly, serving others without expectation of recognition fosters a heart that values the well-being of others over personal gain. These relational challenges are opportunities for growth, shaping a character that reflects Christ's humility. Another dimension of humility is teachability. A humbled heart is open to correction and eager to learn, recognizing that wisdom comes not from self-assurance, but from a willingness to listen and grow. This posture allows God to impart deeper insights and truths, equipping the individual for greater responsibilities. The teachable spirit acknowledges that there is always more to learn, and that God's wisdom far surpasses human understanding. The humbling of the heart is not without pain. It often requires letting go of cherished ambitions or long-held notions of identity. These losses can feel like sacrifices, but they pave the way for a deeper sense of purpose and calling. In surrendering personal desires, the humbled heart discovers a greater joy in aligning with God's will, finding fulfillment in His plans rather than one's own. Humility also creates space for gratitude. A heart that has been humbled recognizes the many blessings and opportunities that come not through personal merit, but as gifts of grace. Gratitude flows naturally from this awareness, fostering a sense of contentment and a deeper appreciation for God's provision. This gratitude, in turn, strengthens faith and trust in His ongoing work. The process of humbling often reveals the interconnectedness of humanity. A humbled heart acknowledges that no one achieves greatness alone. It is through community, mentorship, and the support of others that individuals grow and flourish. This awareness fosters a sense of compassion and a desire to lift others up, recognizing that their success does not diminish one's own, but contributes to a greater collective good. The humbling of the heart is an act of divine love. It is God's way of preparing the soul for the weight of greatness, ensuring that the foundation is solid and capable of bearing the responsibility that comes with influence and leadership. The humbled heart is not weak but resilient, grounded in the assurance of God's strength and guided by His wisdom. This transformation enables the individual to reflect His glory, serving others with a spirit of grace and humility that points back to Him. The whispers of solitude. Solitude is a profound tool God uses to prepare the heart for greatness. It is in these quiet moments, often marked by separation from the noise of the world, that God speaks most clearly. While solitude can feel isolating and uncomfortable, it is a sacred space where transformation begins, fostering clarity, dependence, and communion with the Creator. In solitude, Distractions are stripped away, allowing for a focus that is often unattainable amidst the busyness of daily life. The absence of external demands creates room for introspection and spiritual awareness. In these still moments, the soul becomes attuned to the gentle whispers of God, revealing truths that might otherwise go unheard. Solitude, then, is not an absence of activity, but a presence of divine engagement. Times of solitude often coincide with periods of waiting or transition. These seasons can feel like a pause in forward movement, but they are purposeful. Waiting in solitude is not passive, it is a time of preparation. As the world seems to move on without you, God works within, shaping the heart and mind for what lies ahead. This waiting cultivates patience, trust, and resilience, qualities essential for the path of greatness. The whispers of solitude are deeply personal. They invite you to confront fears, doubts, and insecurities that may be hidden beneath the surface. In the stillness, these inner struggles rise to the forefront, not to condemn but to heal. Solitude offers the opportunity to lay these burdens at God's feet, to seek His perspective, and to receive His assurance. In this way, solitude becomes a place of restoration and renewal. Solitude also fosters dependence on God. When stripped of the comforts of community and routine, the heart learns to lean fully on Him. This dependence is not a sign of weakness, but of surrender, a recognition that strength and direction come not from self, but from the Creator. In the quiet, His presence becomes more tangible, a steadying force that provides peace amid uncertainty. In these moments, God often reveals His vision for your life. Away from the distractions of the world, you gain clarity about His calling and purpose. Solitude allows you to hear His voice without interference, to discern the steps He is guiding you to take. This clarity is not always immediate. It may come gradually, as layers of doubt and confusion are peeled away. Yet each moment in solitude brings you closer to understanding His will. The process of solitude is also one of refinement. In the absence of external validation, you learn to find your worth and identity in God alone. This shift in perspective is crucial for those called to greatness, as it anchors the soul in a truth that is unshaken by the opinions of others. Solitude teaches that significance is not found in what you do, but in who you are in Him. Solitude often challenges the desire for control. In the quiet, the futility of striving becomes evident, prompting a surrender to God's timing and methods. This surrender is not passive resignation, but an active trust in His sovereignty. It is a recognition that His plans are higher and His purpose is greater than anything you could orchestrate on your own. Though solitude can feel lonely, it also deepens compassion. Experiencing the ache of isolation fosters empathy for others who walk similar paths. It sharpens your ability to recognize and respond to the needs of those around you. In this way, solitude not only prepares you for greatness, but also equips you to serve with greater sensitivity and understanding. The whispers of solitude are also a call to worship. In the stillness, the majesty of God becomes more apparent, inspiring awe and gratitude. This worship is not confined to songs or rituals, but becomes a way of life, a posture of the heart that acknowledges His presence in every moment. Solitude, then, becomes a space where worship and preparation intersect, forming a foundation for all that follows. Solitude fosters boldness. While it may seem counterintuitive, the quiet strengthens resolve. In solitude, fears are confronted, doubts are silenced, and the assurance of God's presence emboldens the soul. Emerging from solitude, you are equipped with a confidence that is not rooted in self, but in the unwavering faithfulness of the One who called you. In these quiet spaces, greatness begins to take shape. Solitude is not an end, but a means of divine pause that prepares the heart for the extraordinary. It is a space where the whispers of God resonate, shaping you into a vessel ready to carry His purpose into the world.